There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
What's up?
Hey.
It's pouring down rain. I'm talking pouring. So if you hear it, we apologize. But it's nothing we can do about it.
Summertime in Florida.
That's it.
Afternoon thunderstorms are almost a daily occurrence around here. So
yeah,
we're just going to have to speak up a little bit and be all right. We'll manage.
It's fine. We're very excited.
Yeah.
We'll be hollering for rod building. That's what we'll be doing.
We got a good show tonight. What are we talking about, Chris?
We are doing, we're going to play with the CRB Pro Inletting Tool, as well as a few other power tools. We might destroy something. Hopefully not, but we might tear something up.
Yeah.
And we're also going to teach you guys how to and how not to put little like coins or trinkets. I know that's a terrible, terrible word, a trinket.
Trinket?
In like your fighting butt, or how to also make sure that you inlet your fly grip when you do a custom fly grip. You have ones that have the ability to be inletted, and then you have ones that do not have this like recessed hood. I personally like the ones that have this recessed hood in it so that it fits perfectly inside of a cork ring like that, which then obviously the grip's going to be out here. So there is a tool to do that, and we've got it here. In the
to add more noise to the show.
Yeah, for sure. We've got it in the Benford 8100 drill tonight. So we're gonna turn that thing up and make sure you have your volume button handy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna need to adjust that.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, but that's what we got going on. We're making a mess. We've got cork dust in our hot pockets tonight, but a lot of great people in here so far, and of course. We got giveaways.
Yeah, for sure. Episode 111.
111.
Custom grip tips. What's cool about this one is we're really going to get into the kind of, custom aspect of using our inletting tool and incorporating, these little trinkets, as you like to call them. We're going to see how many times we can say that this episode.
Did I say trinkets?
Trinkets, yes, absolutely you did. Into, butt caps.
Yep.
Which is super cool because obviously, these butt caps don't come with an inlet in the back of them. So this is really getting into that custom aspect of custom rod building.
Yep.
And, whether it's a real seat that you need to, be able to affix to a grip, or you're just adding a coin or a trinket to the back of a butt cap. And
you're counting at home, that's 3.
Last but not least, if you are familiar with, what do we call these? Kind of
trinkets?
4.
They're a threaded or a
hidden thread
cover.
4-grip barrel.
Yeah. It's a KSS.
Yeah. Right. So whether it's a Fuji version or we had, there it is, the American Tackle ULH hood.
Yep.
Typically you would put a grip on these hoods, I guess you could call them, for the lack of better terms. You typically put just a standard EVA, or we have cork with a cork composite,
two-tone vibe.
Right?
That's my favorite.
But you can also, we'll show in a little bit, you can take the inletting tool,
right,
and actually, if you wanted to build out, a custom piece of cork to put on that hood, and obviously you need to inlet that. So we're going to show you how to do that too.
I even brought a couple little fun rod builds from my personal collection.
Yeah.
Hunter's actually fished this one, caught a nice redfish on it.
Yep.
So I actually used what Fuji seat is this? Is that a TV?
TVS.
TVS. So if you notice, it's a up-locking hood and fighting butt in one. So see, this can come off. Not that you need to pull it off, but that's your Fuji spinning seat on a fly rod, right? And then that guy just threads back on. Fly reel secure in there. It's awesome. It's very lightweight. It holds a fly reel better than probably every other fly seat on earth. For some reason, those spinning seats, you know, and Bob, Hunter's dad, has hammered that into our brain for years and years that Fuji barrel seat or any of the graphite nylon spinning seats, you know, they don't scratch your expensive fly reel, the feet, you know, and it just holds them tight. So, is what it is. I don't always particularly like the look of it, but I did a custom grip on this one and then did a custom, you know, fighting butt thread cover and stuff. And, you know, it gets some looks and turns some heads, and this was kind of why we wanted to talk about some of this on the show. And then I also have one that is a native. It is the 3-weight that I particularly like. This one also has a barrel seat on it, and it's an SK2. Actually, it's just an SK2 seat, and then I added a 3K weave insert in there. And then, of course, I added a little nubbin style fly butt, but I did a composite piece with a regular cork piece, and then it's got a coin in it. That's actually a Spanish euro that's in that one. So just, you know, something that doesn't mean that it fishes better or anything like that, but, you know.
Yeah, it's just a cool little trinket.
I've got a little Spanish trinket. All right, that's 6 shots so far, everybody, if you're playing along at home. So, yeah, that's kind of, you know, where we're at and where this show is headed tonight.
But first,
we
got some housekeeping to take care of. So we got a quick little, not quick, but a few minutes of a cutaway that we'll show in just a second, which is going to feature our education program here at Mudhole in correlation with the CCA Youth Scholarship Program. Our very own Anthony Humans, who heads up the education program, was a big part of this this scholarship, the youth scholarship via CCA. So anyway, without further ado, let's run that cutaway, and you guys check out this video.
Perfect timing there with the, we actually have somebody with like a big aluminum sheet that's shaking it like they used to in the movies. If you've ever been to Universal Studios, that's what all the thunder is. We're actually making a Mudhole movie in the other room. So anyway, that is the CCA Youth Scholarship Recap. That is third time? Second time? Second annual? Third annual. The third annual. And it's awesome because they come here for a little bit, they go fish, they do some hikes and learn about stuff.
Yeah, I went to tour the Bahio facility and the Osceola Outback Adventures.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because they're down there catching barramundi.
Barramundi, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Looks like they pull a little bit. It would be nice if we ever got to go do that, right. Do some rod testing or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so that is Anthony and the. It's gorgeous outside. I don't know where the thunder's coming from, but that's Anthony, and he heads up, like you said, the education program. Really quick. So we know that you guys come to the show and you want to learn all about it. You like to listen to us yammer. But we really know that you guys come here for the giveaways. There is a new way that we handle the giveaways. So many of you know already because we've had over 700 entries for the giveaways tonight. So before, if you were watching the show, you would be entered into the giveaway. And of course, Uncle Phil cues it up. He hits the button and the names, go. And then Hunter has to, properly pronounce the last names or nobody wins. But no, I'm kidding. So now we understand that 111 episodes in, that there are people that watch this in replay. Mm-hmm. There are people that are asleep on the other side of the earth. And they don't get to participate, and they don't get to win anything. So Uncle Phil and the brilliant minds at the Mudhole IT department here came up with a new program that allows you to enter into the giveaway and get more giveaway chances, right? Is that how we call this, right? So if you sign up for it, there's a link, and the guys are going to put the link in the comments here. You'll go in, you'll do name, first name, last name, email, right? We're not selling your stuff. This is simply to do a giveaway and win it. Then you're entered into, you got one chance, right? You got one ticket entry, right? You got one entry. Then you'll notice there are additional entry options. If you go over to the YouTube channel or you do whatever, you can also enter to win and do additional entries throughout the show. So if you're coming in late, obviously you're not going to hear me talking, but if you forget or if you're like, oh man, I really do feel like winning that rod kit at the end of the show, and you've only done one entry, you can go through and jump through a few more hoops and get a few more entries into the thing. But as of 6:25 or so, we've had over 700 entries. And then if you're watching the show now on YouTube a week later and we call your name, you're going to be like, oh, I won, but I wasn't there live watching it. You can still send an email to me at live@mudhole.com because we don't put a time limit on the winning, right? If you won, you won. It doesn't matter if you were asleep in Australia or not. So you still get the giveaway and you can still win if you're not watching, but you have to be entered before the end of the show. So now granted, if we call the first giveaway winner and you're not entered in yet, then obviously. Yep. But you can still jump in at any other time before we've given away the 3 giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, we're going to do a couple, 3 as usual. We're going to be a CRB Pro Inletting Tool that we're going to talk about. And we've got a custom rod builder. Ryan Strunk, he is in the chat tonight. You might have seen him if you follow along on the Mudhole Live Rod Builders Workshop. He does some really awesome engraving. Justin, come in here and get up on that zoom there. So Ryan has, this is the little box that these little coins come in. So we asked him to do some little coins that go in the butt of the fighting, or the end of the fighting butt, right? So he has done this, and he is going to, for every giveaway that we do tonight, 3 giveaways, we're going to be giving away 3 inletting tools. And he is going to do a little grab bag of trinkets, coins, for whatever you want. So if you're a winner, send in live@mudhole.com, and then I will connect you with Ryan after I send you your inletting tool or your rod kit or whatever. And then you and Ryan will get together, and then you'll tell him what you want on your coin set, or whatever. I don't know, you could negotiate with him after that, but he's doing coin sets, and then, yeah, then you'll do that. Now, are we gonna show that little clip later of him doing it or how he does it? Or you want to go now? I mean, we don't have to. We can do it later. Yeah, we'll do it later when we're like actually talking about it. But since it's part of the giveaway, big ups to Ryan there for throwing it in there. Yes, Cody, more trinkets. So anyway, those are the giveaways and how that goes. And speaking of inletting tool, Hunter.
Yeah, back in stock as of last week. So, and I know there's been at least 100 or more we've sent out the door. So I know there's plenty of you guys that are watching that probably picked one up last week, or maybe you got one on the first, shipping it. Was that about a month and a half ago?
Yep.
But anyway, back in stock, plenty to go around for everybody.
Comes in a cool box.
We're gonna be giving away several tonight.
It's got a little zippered case on it.
Yeah.
And then you've got your blades and your Allen key for your set screws. It's got a little pouch over here, so you get extras. And you want to carry some other stuff. It's got a little card in here giving you the each blade size, because you'll see the blades have notches in them, and that each blade set has certain sizes. So yeah, and then this is what it looks like in a drill. And this thing spins wildly under control like this and inletted the grip. Yep. Or whatever you want to do it. So we're going to walk you guys through that tonight, but that is, you'll get one of those in each one of the giveaways tonight, and then of course, you get a couple little other items as well.
One last housekeeping thing let's go over real quick before we get into
the
demos. So, Mudhole Advantage was a new revamped program, formerly known as the Mudhole Wholesale Program. Just a few weeks ago, we revamped the wholesale program, and it's now called the Mudhole Advantage program. So, we got a quick little video we're going to show on that, and let's get that rolling.
Mudhole Advantage is the industry's premier tiered business sales program and is perfect for rod building companies looking to grow. It offers brands and products at substantial discounts, along with the dedicated team of professional rod building account specialists available to assist with technical questions, inventory and product inquiries, ordering, and other business solutions. Mudhole Advantage is designed to help your business grow to its fullest potential.
Hello everyone, my name is and I'm with the Mudhole. The Mudhole Advantage program is a no-brainer for anyone running a rod building business. It provides discounts on all brands available through Mudhole, with additional savings on our house brands such as American Tackle, CRB, and Pro products. We have 3 buying tiers available for any size rod building or rod repair business: the bronze tier, the silver tier, and the gold tier.
Mudhole Advantage members enjoy easy ordering through our web portal on mudhole.com, where you will see your discounts as you shop. You all fulfillment for gold and silver tier members, and access to our white label finished rod programs. Additionally, we offer media and marketing services, including graphic design and social media consultation. Apply to the Mudhole at Mudhole Advantage.
And we're back.
And there you have it.
And it's still raining.
It's still raining. Yeah, that hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah.
But good stuff there from the Advantage team. Mr. John Graves there on the video, along with Rob, Mo, and Caleb as well in the Advantage program now. One of the only tiered buying programs in the industry. 3 different, price tiers to choose from. So lots of good stuff coming out of that Advantage program. If you're currently a retail customer and you're interested in making that next step to become, a custom rod, builder and actually, sell your rods to other people, make that, step up.
Yes,
The Advantage program is definitely the way to go.
it's an advantage.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get down to this thing, right? Let's start doing some inletting and start talking about it. Real quick, I'm going to answer, hang on. I'm going to answer this question here real quick because I know it's going to disappear and I'm going to forget about it. But Thomas asks, if you place a coin in the butt end, do you seal it with epoxy? So it's not a requirement, but I will say, if you have like maybe something like this guy here, Justin. So this is a tiny little coin and it's black. It's got a nice logo on it, right? You can kind of sort of not see it. This one got the Mud Hole Live logo in it, right? This I would probably seal. I showed you the coin that's in my fly rod fighting butt, right? It's a Spanish Euro. It already had like a little bit of patina on it. I like that, okay? I want it to continue to like age and patina and, it gets a little color in it, gets a little feel, you can put your finger on it. Maybe you've got a coin like a good luck charm or something like that, right? A little rub of that guy. I don't want to be, I don't want the epoxy keeping good luck from,
I see.
right? So, anyway, I want to leave like a natural coin exposed. That's what I do, right? But if it's going to be something that either has some abalone on it or is an engraved piece that could scratch or rub off or something like that, I'm probably going to protect it with epoxy. So that's where we're at. All right? Let's get down to this thing.
Cool.
There's a couple things. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can you pop that out from the drill real quick just so we can kind of show how this thing actually works? So.
Oh yeah, we should have probably gone over that, right?
So what's cool about this inletting tool is, for one, this headpiece here. I'll try to stay still. Sorry, Justin.
Chase him around.
Let's go right here. All right, so this headpiece has 2 set screws on the back here. And those 2 set screws are what is going to hold your blades in place and also keep this headpiece from, rotating around too much, because you need that piece fixed. So this side here, the shorter side, is going to be what chucks into your drill. And then obviously this longer side is what is going to go, into your grip or your whatever piece that you want to inlet. That's the side that goes into that grip. Now, we also have this guide sleeve, which the OD on this guide sleeve is a 1/4 of an inch, and that is going to mate up to the most cork grips. Now, once you get into some of the other, anything outside of a cork grip might have a different ID. We also now have a 3/8 guide sleeve that you can purchase separately, so cool deal there. But this 1/4 inch sleeve should work for the majority of the grips that you're trying to inlet. So you'll use this guide sleeve, you'll take and slide this on here, and what that does is it's going to center those blades as they spin in your drill, so you get a nice even cut or inlet into whatever you want to add an inlet to. So that's kind of the breakdown of, and obviously you got to pull this sleeve out. That's kind of the breakdown of using the inletting tool. And obviously we have how many? 5 different blade sizes to choose from.
5 blade sizes.
And like Chris mentioned earlier, the card inside of your case will reference, the measurement of the cut or the inlet that you're going to make. So, the blade that has 1 notch is obviously your number 1 down to 5. So from a 0.760 all the way up to a 0.950 inlet. So good range there.
Very good range. And as Hunter mentioned, he was talking about the set screws. They're very easy to lose, but in a little baggie here, we've got an extra set of set screws. Okay, so you get your set screw, and then you set screws, and then you also get your Allen key. We also have the ability to purchase extra blade sets. All these, you can purchase extra pieces, backups, right? If you lose one little piece, you don't have to buy a whole new thing. So, yes.
There you go.
Cool.
All right.
All right, so as Hunter had mentioned before, you know, we have a number of different things that you can do with the inletting tool. I like it better than trying to use like a reverse pilot bit, right? Because these are great for making this fly grip. This is a 3/8. So this would be something that you would put through the fly grip, and you would actually run it down through the middle, come out this side, chuck this into the drill, and then you would pull it through, and it would bore the center to be an exact 3/8, right? Rather than having to ream it and change sizes and ream it. These are really, really good. I think, are these flex coat? Okay.
They are.
So they've got 3/8 and halves, and I think like a 9/16 or something.
7/16, 9/16.
Yeah, and then they got a 3/4. So these are great for reaming, right? Some people have used them for inletting, and they work great for that. But they don't cut nearly as clean of a hole. And I mean, we're talking about and this is cork. You know, we understand that cork can chip and whatever, but this is a very, very clean and smooth hole for an inlet, right? And then, of course, like we showed, where's the one that I had that fits that seat? This guy. Yeah. So, inlet, right? Good and snug. And then, of course, there is a little bit of a lip there on the top of that reel seat, and you can see, and there's just enough overhang in that seat that it acts kind of like a winding check. And then you can see there's the hood where your foot goes in, right? So, just like that. Now, a little tip and a trick while we're talking about grip making or inletting a fly grip before we get into some of these other like fighting butts and stuff. I believe from doing a lot of this stuff that it's easier to like cut chunks out of a cork. Like this is just natural cork, there's no rubber in it. It's easier to chew at a cork ring if you don't have a high enough RPM drill. And that's why I'm actually using this as a corded drill, because this little guy here, this Ryobi 12 volt, I think they got this at like Toys R Us or something. It just doesn't have the speed, right? It just doesn't have the RPMs. It's a 12 volt lithium. I mean, it's fine, but it's not, you know, it's not like you're going to drill into a concrete block, and it just doesn't have the speed. Whereas the good old corded Benford 8100 has lots of RPMs, and you kind of got to be a little careful because you can really get after it with that one. Now, another thing that I do, and another tool that I use when I am making custom grips and inletting and doing things like that is, did I cut this one? Yeah. So this I did not ream it far enough, but I'm just showing you. This is composite, okay? This is a composite ring. And this actually has like a kind of a nice, like a snug fit. The rubberized cork, it cuts very, very clean, and it does not, sorry. The rubberized cork cuts extremely clean, and it doesn't chip. So if you're running a drill that is like, it doesn't have the RPM speed, I actually take, and I will take a cork ring cutter, right? Is that what we sell these individually, and then we sell them in all four, right?
Yes.
So they come in a slicer like this, and what this piece is, you know, it's got a slicer here. This screw comes out, and you can pull this off. And then you take the saw with like one of the little like jeweler's blades, and then of course you're going to saw that and it goes through it, right? Like that. So the reason that I use this is I want to take a 1/4-inch ring, and you can use the 1/4-inch ring. It's just, I don't like the 1/4-inch ring as much. So I take a 1/4-inch ring and I put it in the slicer and I get one of these guys, okay? So I just slice the composite and bring it down to 1/8, okay? Because it'll cut the 1/4 in half, all right? Then what I do is when I take my cork rings, my very last ring on the rod build gets one of these, okay? So now I have a very, very thin composite piece on the bottom. Now what I tend to do is I'll put one on the bottom and then maybe I'll put one on the top, or I'll just put one on the bottom. And what this does is then when you take and you inlet, even if the inlet is not exactly, because we only have certain blade sizes, right? And some inlets are not as good sized. Now ours are, because we make the reel seats and we make the blades. So that's why they made up so well. Keep losing this reel seat because this is the 7, right?
That's a 7.
So this 7 fits perfect in the number 1 blades, right? So the number 1 blades are 760, and I think that inlet is like 770 or something. I know, I hope you guys aren't like getting the Blair Witch seasick thing. And then our biggest size goes all the way up to a 950, and the 950 fits this seat, which is the 8, or the inlet is also, if you buy a pre-made grip, it's a 942. So this is a 942, but the 950 blade is the one that you cut with this, because it's like give or take a little. Like I wouldn't, if you cut it and you put a mic on it, it's 950-ish. It's actually, I believe, it tends to be a little narrower. So I think it starts, it hedges smaller than larger.
Yes.
That's just my experience, and using the previous version of this tool and this tool, it just seems like that's how it does it. So let me show you what I mean and what it looks like. I don't know if this one has it or not. No. Okay, so this grip does not, this is a fly. It doesn't have an inlet, okay? For an inletting show. Perfect, right? So this one doesn't have an inlet, but I'm not using the composite here. But I'm using the composite out here. Okay, so the composite is on the end of this fighting butt. Now, if you look here, there's a tiny little plug, all right, and I'm sure customer service is really going to love me for this. So George and the team downstairs, I apologize. But there's a little plug right there. That plug is actually found by the hundreds in the bottom of the cork ring box. So when we get these cork rings with holes punched in them, in the bottom of this box, there's tons of little, it looks like little duck poop or whatever. But it's not. It's these plugs from when they punch them out and they end up in the bottom of the bag. So if you're really polite to our customer service people and you're doing a custom and you're doing a custom grip and you say, hey, do you think maybe I could get a few of these little plugs that fit those holes perfectly? So cool. Now I'm going to owe every customer service person beer and lunch for the next couple weeks. So anyway, just if you ask for it, be sweet and blame it on me, and then they'll take it out on me, and they won't take it out on you. But that's a really good way to get a great plug for your cork. What else you got? You got anything to get you in trouble and get the heat off of me?
No, I got plenty of that going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, get you a cork slicer if you're going to do any of the inlet and you're going to do this, because these little slices, they look great like inside of the grips too.
Yeah.
And this also works with EVA. You know, I've seen all kinds of cool stuff. And when you get the saw, it's a kit, right? You can get the saw and the blades.
Yes.
And I think you get the saw and like 10 blades.
Yes.
Because I'm going to promise you, you're going to break these blades.
Yes.
They're very, very thin. Pay attention to the direction the teeth go. And if you're going to cut composite rings, you are going to break these blades if you don't go careful.
Yeah.
But like regular cork and EVA and stuff, it goes right through them. But I pretty much only cut the composite because that's all I ever need. So I'm breaking blades, but it works incredibly well. Obviously, if you have a RBS Pro G2 or you got a lathe or something and you can cut your own little cork rings and the composite stuff, great. But this slicer and those blades do some like incredibly fine work.
They do.
You know, really, really nice.
Yeah. There is a big, what you guys will notice with these different cork materials and even EVA, the composite cork tends to cut more flush. It doesn't have those, when you get into the regular cork, or even, into, some of our cork that has, different colors, and especially corks that are not, that might be a lower quality, you run into the risk or the chance of having some of these chunks start to kind of pop off, right? With the rubberized cork, this one right here, it's a much denser material. So the chance of having any kind of, partial, bits and pieces or chunks, that you do not want is much less, right?
Yes.
So that's the whole kind of point that you were stressing there is if you can use that rubberized cork as just the very little end, imagine, and we keep referencing these small pieces of cork. What we're referring to is this is kind of your end result, right? You're making your own custom butt cap.
Right.
And in order to, to knock that out, you're going to need a couple pieces of cork. And if you tip it on the very end with a piece of that rubberized cork and you go to do an inlet in the back side here, putting an inlet in this rubberized cork is just so much easier than the natural cork itself.
For sure.
Because it's going to have, natural cork just has more, typically has more holes or, more voids, or it's filled with different materials. So it's not a constant material across the entire, butt cap. Whereas the rubberized cork is, it doesn't have that issue. It's a very solid, dense material. It's the same throughout, and it's just more consistent. So you get a better cut.
Yep, absolutely. And if you, just like when you're slicing composite rings, if you've ever noticed some of the very, very high end, if it's not a custom rod and it's a factory built rod, some of the super high end fly rods, and of course we're beyond the $1,000 mark now for Orvis and Winston and Loomis and Sage fly rods now. If you notice, they are using 1/4 inch rings in some of these grips. And the reason being is, if let's say you get, a 1/2 inch ring, right? A 1/2 inch ring, and you get a void right here. You might get a 1/2 inch void, all right? Now it might not be into the center here very, very much. So like that maybe long 1/2 inch void might disappear. But if you cut this ring into a couple different pieces, like long ways, right? If you cut this into 2 rings or 3 rings, this way, now you can spread those voids out over a grip and you don't have a big long 1/2 inch void. You've got a little tiny void here and a little tiny void here. The reason I say that is if you end up with a cork ring and you have about as floor grade as you can, I mean perfect cork ring, or one side of it is perfect, take that piece, set it aside, and use that as your last inlet, right? That's the one you want to inlet, because as you're inletting that, there's no voids down here to booger something up. Now, you can also take and slice it and glue it onto maybe another cork ring or something like that. So all you have is kind of like a perfect cork veneer, So that'll help save you some issues there. So with a cork slicer or whatever, you can do other things and get a hold of some really perfect little thin cork slices that you can glue throughout your grip, and you can break up some of those voids and stuff like that, because, you know, cork today, even the nicest, is not nearly as nice as the nicest 20 years ago. So imagine that, right?
I think we need to talk grips, right? So let's I think we need to inlet a grip. What do you think?
Fine by me.
You got one right there. Is that one hasn't been touched yet?
No, we hadn't tore this one up yet.
So, and let's kind of
put those blades
preface this by saying, you know, obviously we have, you know, aluminum fly seats, or, you know, across different brands, whether it's CRB, American Tackle, REC, etc. We have real seats that fit certain grips, right? Whether it has a recess on the real seat, you know, whether it has a cutout on the grip. So in theory, you know, you don't have to inlet, you know, a particular fly grip to fit a certain reel seat. We've obviously, you know, done some of that work ahead of time, and we have reel seats that match up to certain grips. But there are obviously cases to where you need to, you know, I really want to use this reel seat, and I really love this fly grip, the shape or the contour, but this particular fly grip that I love so much does not have an inlet. And hence why we're having this show, right? Because we need to add an inlet to this fly grip that does not have a cutout on the back. So Chris is looks like he's switching out some blades over there.
Yep.
And you're gonna do, what size you got? You remember?
These are the ones.
Number 1. So he's gonna chuck it in the drill. Make sure it's locked down nice and tight.
Safety first.
Safety first.
And we're gonna make a mess. Where's the sleeve at? Okay. Now, as Hunter was talking earlier, you got the sleeve that comes with your CRB Pro Inletting Tool, right? Sleeve goes in here. Now, it's kind of like, that one is actually okay. Some of the times you'll put it in and it'll fall right out. And keep the jokes to a minimum here, folks. So this one, right? Pretty good. Otherwise, you need arbor, right? So arbor this guy up. You know me, I'm a tape arbor person. Same deal, right? But you do not want to arbor this so much that as you are drilling into this thing, that you can't go any farther, right? So if you do arbor it, like it's almost like there was a lip on the end of this table at one point in time. Stuff just rolls right off. All right, so we're going to do a quick, I'm going to hit it, just show you here. I'm going to hit like one wrap. So I was looking at earlier, Sean was mentioning, somebody was asking about a birch grip. And Sean is very good at this. And as he said, you want to go slow, but you want to go fast at the same time. And what we mean by that is we are going slow as we bore the hole, but the drill is running wide open. Okay? So, got it set there. I just got it hanging out a little, right? And I can push it in. What you do not want to do is touch the blades to the grip and then start. Don't do that.
Nope.
Make sure that that's flush. Don't run it like this. Get it going. All right, so you can see I'm going like a little at a time. You can watch it go in, and that's when you can see the cork, you know, coming out, right? Now, this is another one of those, like, I mean, obviously I haven't gone very far. This is another one of those, like, measure 3 times, cut once kind of thing. So obviously nowhere near enough, right? Not even close, okay? But rather than like trying to mark it on the blades and such, you can eyeball it and say like, oh, okay, maybe just a little past the notch. You know, especially when it's the one size, you can kind of hold it up here and go, all right, you know, I can go like a smidge past the notch, because I don't know Yeah, you can see that little tiny notch there. That just means it's number 1 blade. The notch always has to go out, always faces out. Don't put the notches in, okay? So you can hold this up and go, okay, a little bit past it, right? So we'll just go back to getting after it.
Turn your volume down.
Yeah, right? All right. So we come back out, get her going. I'm going to check it. Ooh, it's close. We are making a mess. All right, let's see what we got. Oh,
Ooh.
very close. See, there's still just a tiny little bit. Okay? So we're just going to go just a smidge more. We'll finish it off. And we'll put it in there. And wait till it stops spinning before you set it down, or you will tear your blades up. Okay? Perfect. And now we are cut real nice. No chunks, no voids. We're ready to rock, right? And it looks real clean. So there you go. And then the piece is still stuck in there, but
Don't leave that in there.
yeah, don't leave it in there. But you just take your blank or whatever. I think we got. Do we have? I thought we had a little. Or you got a 250. What you call it there?
Reamer?
No, a mandrel.
No.
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 I taped it, so like sometimes you can give it one of those.
Yeah, I don't see a 1/4 inch.
Let me see if I can kind of grab it. All right, so that is it. So got it cut. Now, one thing you need to pay attention to when you're gluing this up, we're not going to glue it up on the show, but as this comes down the blank, right, I'm going to have my reel seat in place, arbored, everything. When these mate together, you'd be surprised at actually how much, actually how much pressure is created inside here because it's such a good fit. So do not, when you shove this together, make sure there's not a pile of glue in here, because as you slide that down the rod blank, you're going to be collecting a lot of pro paste in there, right? So you would take this, I always give this like a good old scoop, right? Scoop it out and also make sure that this outer rim has epoxy on it. And then when you push it the last little bit, then you'll be good to go. Also, keep in mind, if you're dealing with cork that has voids in it, if there are voids down in this last ring, okay, down in here, this is pretty thin-walled now, and what can happen is, with the pressure created, you can push this in. As the epoxy is warm and it's expanding and drying, you can get epoxy squeezing out of the voids in the cork down here. So what I mean by that is, don't glue it, press it together really hard, set it down, and then walk away and come back in 10 hours and go, great. So it's very easy. You just glue it and then come back in 20 minutes and make sure you don't have any glue coming out of your grip just because you've turned this into a really thin wall type of a deal, right? Epoxy will find a crack or something and work its way out. So just wipe it and then you're good to go.
And be prepared to make a mess. It's going to happen.
A mess. All right. Cool. Do you want to, Uncle Phil, we're going to use our new giveaway tool?
Yeah, let's give it a run here. All right, so first giveaway of the night and first new giveaway of our new system here.
Yeah. So if it doesn't work, it's Uncle Phil's fault.
let's give it a run here. So, CRB Pro Inletting Tool is going to be our first giveaway.
Yep. And we're going to do the trinkets.
The trinkets from Mr. Ryan Strunk.
That's it. Strunk's Trinkets.
Yep. It's got a good ring to it. All right, so here we go. Let's give it a shot. See who our first winner of the night is. Will B. All right, and from what I'm being told, we'll have that last name here in just a little bit.
Yeah, so what we did is we had to design a program that made it so that Hunter didn't have to pronounce your last names. So, you know, with Hunter being a little higher up now and stuff like that, he came in and he was like,
I'm tired of this.
we're not doing this
I'm over
anymore.
it.
So I want you guys to work through the night and figure out a program that I don't have to pronounce the last names. So there you go, Will B. That, you know, the good news is there's probably no one on earth, or maybe only one person watching this show that is Will B. Okay?
Will B.
So that's good. Good job, Will.
Yeah.
And as Hunter said, we're gonna get the last
get
name
that
in
last
here.
name in
And
just
I hope it's a doozy. So Will B, if you're watching live at mudhole.com, if you're not watching live and you're watching a week from now and you see Will B come up, you can still win the prize. So that's the best part. And the people that are watching can still enter more chances and all that stuff. Because I have been seeing people come in here and say like, I just made it, finally made it. So if you were just joining us or joined us in the last, what do we got? We're 55 minutes in. So if you've joined us in the last 54 minutes, there is a link in the comments that the team will put back in the comments. You can enter for your chance to do a giveaway. So Will
Burton.
There you go. Will Burton. There you go.
Congrats, Will. And make sure you email, as always, for any of the eventual winners. Email live, L-I-V-E, at mudhole.com.
Yes.
To claim your prize. Chris will respond back to you. And obviously, you know, we've got the added bonus of the strunk trinkets tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ryan's not too happy with us about that name, but
Yeah.
anyway, and we'll obviously get you in touch with Ryan, and you can collect your coins as well, or whatever your trinkets might be.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Ryan does all kinds of stuff, but the coins are the in the giveaway.
Yeah.
So he can do all kinds of other stuff as well. We don't want to sell him short just for trinkets.
Yep.
Because I saw him, he was doing like Van Stall reels and doing all kinds of
stuff.
I got to send him something. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay, we need
Moving
to talk
on.
about custom hoods. And I know we've already touched on this. Now, it's really no different than inletting a fly seat. But what you do have to understand is you're going to be making complete cut-throughs. All right? And there is a little bit of extra like care that you have to take into this. So there's a couple ways to go about it, because you are going to be boring all the way through a cork ring so that you can end up, didn't I do one that was, where's the bigger one? Was it this one? Yeah. Okay. So on this red burl, I used the 2 size, which is, how big is that? 810. Okay. So the number 2 blades on this Fuji hood, this is just your threaded hood cover that goes on any Fuji barrel seat. That is perfect. Okay. You can see there, fits right in there. Okay. Right? Fits in there perfect. Now granted, you're not going to leave it like that, but I wanted to show you guys because we were testing different sizes and we want to make sure that you guys know what this looks like. There's a couple ways to go about doing this because you have to go all the way through it. Now, I will say I particularly like to have a full cork ring and bore each cork ring separately and then take it to the grip, stack it, and then you will turn it on a lathe or an RBS Pro, something like that, right? Now, yes, you're not going to be able to take this cork ring and put it on your 1/4 inch mandrel, but I feel it's much easier and you have much less of a chance of tearing up a group of cork rings that are ready to be glued on here if you bore the holes and glue them onto the hood cover and then turn it down. Because if you turn it down and you get this wall thickness, let me show you. Here's the wall thickness of the Fuji one that goes on the KS, KSS, whatever that is, right? That is not much of a wall thickness, okay? So if you turn this down and then now that's all you got to hold on and bore a hole, I'm not saying it can't be done, but you got a really good chance of boogering it up.
Definitely.
So there is a couple different ways. You got a cork ring holder, okay? The old cork ring holder. This is nice because you can put your cork ring in it, you can grab a hold of it, squeeze it, right? And you can go through it, all right? Now, yes, you have to be careful because you can, when you go through the other side, you know, you got to be a little careful. But it's just another one of those things that you can, the good news about this is, hang on, let me take this ring out. This is flexible. Not super flexible, but flexible enough that when you put this cork ring in here, you can give it the old squeeze and you can hold this like really nice and tight. So as you're going through here, little by little by little, and then you can go through it, right? You'll get to a point where it'll be such like a slim, like just skin or a veneer on the back that you could even take, if you're afraid to go through it, you could take and then go and hit it with an X-Acto knife and punch the rest of it out. And then that way, you're really not left with a lot of cork, and then you can bust it, and then you'll glue all your rings up and you'll be fine. You know, like I said, you can obviously do multiple rings, but keep in mind, you've only got about this much of travel, right? This is all you got. This is your cork ring, right? So you only got a little bit more than a regular cork ring. So you're not going to be able to inlet and bore through as many cork rings as it's going to take. So I do it one ring at a time before I put it on the rod. Now, I really like, because you can turn grips on a power wrapper, whatever power wrapper you got. Of course, we got RBS Pro G2. What I really like to do, and this is how a lot of really high-end fly guys build their grips, is they're actually reaming a cork ring, one cork ring at a time. They don't need an inlet, but they're just taking this, they ream it, and they slide it down the blank and make sure it's a good fit, okay? And then they do the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. They do that, and then they pull them all off and make sure that, you know, they just take the stack and turn it upside down, or they just number them a little bit, and then they do one at a time. They glue the blank, and they're putting one on, put a little glue, one on, put a little glue, and then they're turning after. There is no better connection between a cork ring and a rod blank than doing it that way. You can't do it a better way, honestly. It is a little more work, and then you have to turn the rod once the grip is on the blank. But same thing with this, wherever that went. Here it is. So this, obviously, hood cover will go on this Fuji seat. But the good news is, once this is here and locked, you can put it on here, start turning, and this is not, it's not going to wobble, it's not going to go anywhere, and you can really turn this down. Now, yes, you can take this, lock this down, and arbor this on a mandrel, put it in your lathe. That also works, because you're just right here on this little piece, and it's nice and locked, right? You just have to pay attention when you're laying this out, how many cork rings that it's going to take, and how far you want your cork rings off the top of this grip, right? So, I don't know, you would take, these are regular old 1/2 inch rings, and you got a little smidge left. Now, if it's me, I am going to take this reel seat right here, and I'm going to take the reel that I want to use, and I'm going to put the reel in the reel seat, and I'm going to tighten it down and snug it as far as I can snug it. Make sure it's locked, and then I'm going to look and see how much room I got in here between my hood and the threads, right? Because really, if that's, let's say that's where you're at, now you take your calipers, and you got a 1/2 inch. So you could technically cut a 1/2 inch off the top of this hood cover. I would leave a smidge, but if that's the case and you're cutting a 1/2 inch off of here, now you got 3 rings and then you probably have the perfect amount, right? So just some things to think about. Just because the hood cover's as long as it is, there's no real foot on earth that's that little right there. Okay, that's like whatever real foot that is, it just doesn't exist, right? That's really, really short, and then you got an 1/8 of thread showing here. It's just not going to happen, right? So don't be afraid to cut the hood.
Yep. And that's obviously, one of the Fuji, I'm just going to call it a hidden thread sleeve for the lack of a part number. We also have, the shorter as in this portion right here.
Yep.
And I think this is the KSS.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep.
So there's that version, obviously, which is much shorter. You can get away with, honestly, just a handful of cork rings on this one.
Yep. Edward, thank you for that. Thank you for that tip. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah. So we got about
put an extension in.
2 rings side by side, and you're actually a little bit off the edge there. So that should, two full cork rings, or even, if you want to knock that down to 1 and put some composite in there. And then also the, we just keep losing stuff up here.
Yeah, right.
The American Tackle ULH, which is a big, very popular hood option in the AT lineup. Same deal here. You can stack 1 or 2 cork rings, but with all of these hidden thread sleeves, sorry, I'm jumping around there. Mm-hmm. Always, like Chris said, we can drop the zoom. Always, sorry, Justin. Always.
Making sure he's not feigning. You're
always.
Right. Just want to make sure he's not.
Check it with your reel. It's extremely important because, as Chris mentioned, with these, if you're using a barrel seat, where your, the top of your hidden thread sleeve stops.
Yep.
Are you going to go all the way down and actually expose some of that threaded portion, which it's not likely, but it can be a case, or do you stop kind of dead even with the end of the threaded barrel? That's extremely important, because if you have the case to where you're actually tightening down that hood so far that you're exposing some of this top threaded portion, that can be a major issue when you go to use one of these, whether it's a custom, little grip that you're creating, or if you're using a pre-shaped, CRB or Fuji or AT, cork or EVA hood option. If there is a portion of that thread that shows and you go to put this hood on, it's not going to go all the way, and obviously I'm just dry fitting this. Hypothetically, if you had this this cork piece already glued onto your hood, and you got to crank this down to the point to where your reel is snug, and that requires that cork piece to start digging into that threaded barrel, you're going to have a major issue.
Yeah.
And you're actually going to probably pop, if this was glued, you're going to pop that cork piece. You're going to pop it off, you're going to split it. It's probably going to damage it. Yeah. So, again, whether you're doing an inlet or not, always try to dry fit these hidden thread sleeves with the reel, in the reel seat, and always just dry fit every piece to see how it's going to come together when it's all locked down.
Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. And always be cautious if you do have that cork piece glued onto your hood. Don't wrench that hood down when you go to test that reel, because if you do have the case to where, you know, you got to go a little bit farther than needed. You know, the more you tighten, the more you wrench that down, the more chance that you're going to pop that that cork piece or crack it. As Chris mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of room for error in these little grips. There's just, I mean, it's probably, you know, somewhere between a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch of material there. So it does not take much to kind of fracture or split those little cork pieces.
Yep, exactly. Sweet. Anything else?
I think we should move on to another giveaway.
Perfect.
And then last but not least, we'll cover butt caps at the end.
I know they're going to love me on the whiteboard tonight.
All right, so giveaway number 2 of the night, we're going to do another inletting tool.
Yes.
Plus, we're going to do a custom grip set, which Chris will work with you on your choice.
Yeah? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
I can dig it.
absolutely.
I can dig it.
You know, if you
Hey,
want
you're paying for it. I don't
if
care.
you want a casting cork grip setup or a spinning or a fly or whatever.
Yeah. Throw in some cork rings, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, you know, shoot me an email, live@mudhole.com.
And obviously, we're going to also throw in Mr. Strunk's trinkets as well. So.
Cool. That thunder's getting weirder by the minute.
All right. Let's run it. Who we got?
Yeah.
Craig L. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Not too
We're
bad.
getting a little more specific
Not
here.
too
I like
bad.
It.
I'm
I
gonna.
like it.
Can't wait. I hope it's a doozy.
We'll unveil that last name in just a
Yeah,
few
exactly.
minutes, just to keep you on your toes,
The
Craig.
excitement is palpable.
I gotta imagine there's just, you know, at least 30 or 40 Craigs in the chat.
Craig
right now.
L's.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh man, could you imagine though? Let's just say there are 2 Craig L's,
Yeah.
and then now it's just we got 2 Craigs waiting by the seat of their pants. You know. So all right, here it comes.
Craig Lake. All right.
Wait, is it? It's still coming through.
Oh no.
Yeah. I can just wait for it to be like something easy like that, and you just be like, "Oh, it's Craig Lake Shire Hoffman."
All right.
No,
All right.
Craig. Yeah. All right. We'll let the. It's almost like getting like the little dots. If you
Right.
are iPhone people,
you're just waiting.
It's like, oh man,
Uh-oh,
somebody's
what's it
typing.
gonna be?
What's happening?
So that was
Yeah.
from a newsletter sign up, which is really cool because that's one of the new ways that you can actually win one of the giveaways is via the newsletter sign up.
Yeah.
So good deal there, Craig. Congratulations.
And guys, for the when you're putting the full name on our teleprompter, please also put that full name in the comments. So, I mean, just whatever, so that people see it. Craig Lake. Awesome. How do we get just a couple just softball names? Just super easy, right down the middle.
I love it.
I know you love it. All right, so let's do this. 7:45. We don't need to keep you all night. Are we okay on a connection? I just saw a connection lost on my screen. We good? Okay. All right, sweet. Sorry, I just didn't want to go with, you know. All right, so let's talk about custom butt caps. We're going to talk about using Strunk's Trinkets, and there is a super easy way to mess this up. And I don't mean that in terms of, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but you can end up with a butt cap that, let's see. What was the one that had one whole yep, there we go. All right. Oh no, that one's, I won't.
Too dark?
Yeah, here we go. We'll do this. I won't, because it's got to be like really contrasting. All right. So this is one, it's just a blank one. I'm going to show you how you can mess this up. So here's one messed up. Notice anything? We got a little less wall thickness here, a little more wall thickness up here. See that? See that? Yeah, that's a boo-boo, right? So if you're going to do this, and you're not going to follow along and take notes here, what I'm about to teach you guys, buy a couple extra ones of these, okay? So this is how you booger it up, right? Now, if you take and you put a 1/4-inch drill bit in your drill, I'm glad you're paying for these, so I'm just going to mess them up.
Of course.
This hole in most of these is like a 300 or a 400, okay? Even though 99.9% of the cork is 250, a lot of these fighting butts have a 300 or a 400 or a 350, right? So if you just take it and you try to go through it like that, or if you try to come around on the top and you're going to do this and you're going to eyeball it, you can get pretty close, you know? It's all right, right? If you're just going to go like this, try to hit the hole in the middle and go through it, you can probably get pretty close. Now, you can also measure it and mic it and do all that stuff. But remember, if you're going to mess it up, you're going to mess it up. And I think I got another one here somewhere. Yeah, here's another one, okay? Here's another one you can see is off center. And this is one when you're trying to like, oh, maybe I'm going to draw some lines and then measure and then, see, that's also not going to work, okay? Because we try to give you the how not to and how to, right? All right, so Professor Chris in the building. And this is so funny because like, I didn't make good grades, but I also wasn't doing things that I liked. So here's how to find the center of a circle with a little bit of geometry. Okay? So what we've got here is these two vertical lines are called chords. All right? You're going to draw with a straight line chords pretty much anywhere on your butt cap. Now this is just a white, this is, you know, marbling pigment, right? But this is white. So I wanted you to see it. And also there's a little white dot, or there's a little dot in the middle. Just, I don't know, it happened in manufacturing. But you can see there where those lines intersect, they intersect perfectly on that dot. So really quickly, I'm going to show you guys how to get that dot. All right? We're going to go over to the whiteboard. And I know you guys are going to be unhappy about it.
Math time with Chris.
But I don't really care. Do we have, what about that ruler? Do we have like a long straight edge? Oh, it's hanging on the wall. I don't know if that one is going to work or not. But we're going to try it. Let me see. All right. So there's a couple things you're going to need. Here's a circle. And I really wish I had like a compass or whatever. But I'm probably not going to get a really good circle, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Okay. So there's your circle, right? I have a straight edge. So we have a circle. This is our butt cap. Right? We're going to draw a chord. This is like, just trying to hold it because I want to make it as straight as possible. All right, so we have a chord there. We have a chord here. All right? Now look, keep in mind, there's going to be a little bit of freehanded going on here. Because I don't have, like I can't mic that, like yes I can measure it, but whatever. So, we got a chord and a chord. From this dot here to this dot here, you need to figure out how long that is. Okay? Right? What is that distance? Okay? We're just going to say it's 20. Whatever it is. 20 millimeters, 20 inches, 20, right? That's 20. And then we got this dot here and this dot here. So those dots are on the edges of your circle. They're on the edges of your fighting butt, okay? We need this distance, okay? We're going to say this is 22. Whatever, right? We got to find the middle of this line. So you'll take your digital calipers. I like using the digital calipers because I can get it pretty much exact. And then I can do it in like millimeters and just punch it into a calculator if it's like 29.37. Like, what do you, just right off the top of your head, do you know what 29.37 is? I don't. But, so, that's why I'm using a round number 20, okay? So we're going to come in like, I wonder if what's the chances that I really got it like pretty good? All right, so that's like 8 and a change and, okay. So we'll call that half, all right? It's right in the middle of that point and that point. Okay. Then we're going to do this one. Let's see, 7.5, 3. Hang on, I covered my line. All right. So we'll say that's half of that one. Again, we're just winging it here. All right. So you are then going to hand me that folded piece of paper. If you don't have a square, the house, you're going to take and, like a square, like carpenter shoes, right? So you're going to go to the center there, right? Hang on, I got to stick my head in the middle of this. Hang on. Okay, right? You got a square, and I know that's not perfectly straight, but what we did there is, right, there's your line. And for our geometry people out there, this is a right angle, okay? 90 degrees. Thank you, Phil. Look at that. All right, then we will also come over here, and I know I'm going to stand in front of this, so just bear with me. Hold that, Hunter man. Mm-hmm. Thank you. See that? Thank you. Okay, so I know that the lines are a little big and whatever, but at the intersection point, okay, it's the center of your circle, okay? So again, it's probably not as perfect as it can be because I'm kind of sort of just making do here and got a wide tip marker. But if you did this on the top of those grips, that's your center right there. Center of the circle, happens every time. Keep in mind, you can draw additional chords around this circle. You don't have to do two, okay? You can do a chord here and a chord here. You can do a right angle and and you could make, sometimes you see people with like 3, right? You do 1, 2, 3, and then you find your right angles and then you intersect them. And then that's the center of your circle. That's how you find the center of a circle and you don't booger up your fighting butt. So, is anybody in here going like, wow, here we go again?
No,
Chris and his whiteboard.
No, good stuff so far. One comment about you're really good at geography, so there's that.
Straight lines, baby, straight lines.
Yeah. But.
So really all we're doing is, on the whiteboard, is we're just making triangles. That's it. So you're making isosceles triangles, and then that straight line from the 90 degree to the center is now you're making 2 right triangles. It's just like, look at that.
There you go.
So,
Class
C, Mom,
in session.
I can do it. That's it. C+ student, but a B- rod builder. Here we go. Come on. All right.
So all that to say.
That's how you find the center of a circle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Again, you might get lucky. You just turn around, just go right through it. You might be okay. But, it is what it is. What else you got?
Yeah, so I mean, out of all the ones that we've done tonight, I think adding, a nice touch, whether it's a coin or a trinket or whatever.
Hang on a second.
What?
Stop just a second. Tim said, and I didn't catch this. Tim said, Hunter, you mean geometry, not geography. Did you really say?
No, I meant to say that.
Oh, did you?
It was a comment.
Okay. I wrote.
Got everybody, huh?
Well, I was busy with geography, No, I just want to make sure because somebody jumped in here and that would be good. That would be something I would do,
That was intentional, by the way.
All right, anyway, sorry. I just thought maybe it was the rain that you couldn't, but
So anyway, I think, adding the coins or the trinkets in the back of the butt caps is a super cool touch. Whether you get, a custom one from Ryan and have it engraved.
Which I like this one right here.
Yeah, or you go the route of,
Justin?
a coin from, another country or something like that you
Yep.
visited or something like that. That's such a cool touch, especially if it has meaning behind it, or, you referenced a good luck charm. That's such a cool little thing you can do, and it's hidden, and it's obviously there when you want to see it. But.
Yep. And for those that want to know how trinkets are made, this is
From the man himself.
that's it, from the man himself. And the coolest thing is, so we had a little chit chat. He's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you got? And he's like, well, I cut a fish out of abalone. I can cut this piece and put it on a coin. I can do this. I can do that. And I'm like, well, just, give me 3 or 4. I said, let's try to do a mud hole one. Let's do something maybe like an image. We'll do a logo. We'll do whatever. And, I just told him to just run with it. So he's the mastermind and the creative behind this stuff. But I thought it was really, really cool. And man, show that.
I'm going to try to. So
Yeah.
you saw in the video that he also does, laser cutouts of abalone. And I can barely, these are so small, I can barely hold them, but
Yeah.
I'll try here. So this is a largemouth bass, and you can tell
It's tiny.
it is tiny, tiny. And that is
Yeah.
abalone. I'll try to catch some of the light there.
Yeah.
You can see it's pretty cool. And then also, if I can do a little side-by-side here. So you can see there's that coin with the abalone applied to it, but that cutout
Yeah.
is there too. So
I really like that. I think that's a really neat.
nice touch for sure.
Yeah.
So 2 different examples of how you can incorporate abalone, whether you use one of the cutout fish patterns and use it as a decal, or, incorporate it into the coin or into the butt cap with the cutout. Really the sky's the limit. It's such a cool little touch that you can do. And, like you mentioned earlier, you can leave this coin or whatever it might be, you can leave it exposed, right?
Yeah.
So all you need to do is use some Pro Paste on the back side of this coin and also in the cutout itself or the inlet. And you can certainly just leave this part exposed as long as there's a good glue bond between the object and the cork or whatever material you got there. Or
Oh, sorry, I was going to get in there. Whoa, 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 whoa. I got you. Yeah, no, I'm on the screen now. So that coin that I've got there, that's a real Spanish euro. And again, it's one of those where you can see how flush that is. So I made sure to, with the digital calipers, to mic the thickness and then match it up. And you can see there's no epoxy over that coin. So you can feel the ridges in the coin, and it's starting to get some of the patina on it. And you caught a pretty good fish on this rod up in North Carolina, right? Or was that the one you lost and then I caught? Oh, no, that was Taylor.
I think it's Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the native. Hang on, I got you. The native 7.63 weight. One of my favorites. And I actually did you see the cork there. I did like a snub nose, kind of a thin full wells. And this is probably my favorite light line native. The 7.63 weight is great. But we use this. We do a guys trip, me and Hunter and Terry Bellinger. We go up to North Carolina every year for a week. And this one never has anything on it but a dry fly. That's it. Dry fly sits against the tree. Since we go in December, we can't get a hatch every day, or we don't get them all day. But sometimes a little sun,
in the afternoon,
like about a 2 o'clock, a little 1:30, a little after lunch hatch, the sun comes right through. There's this one spot, and you caught some big ones.
So much fun.
It's always a mad dash to this rod because it's rigged and ready to rock.
Yeah.
And we're throwing nylon, so we don't use fluorocarbon because it sinks, and we're throwing a 9 foot, but down to like 6.5X. So ultra light. Well, most of the time we're throwing like a 20 or a 20, even down to a 24. So this one is the one. If you guys want to take it and backpack and hike and do some dry fly fishing, 7.63 weight. That's the one.
And you can also, last thing I want to mention, you can also add epoxy to these, objects.
Yeah.
You can add, when I say epoxy, I mean like a thread finish, like a Pro Coat.
Yes, don't pull it up
sorry.
with Pro Paste or Pro Glue.
No. Use actually thread finish of your choice.
Yes.
And what I would do, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I would make sure that you have a little bit of a lip on this outside part. Literally exactly, I don't know if we can get...
So it's like set in.
If we can get just, I don't know if you can see that lip that's there.
Keep rotating it. Other way. So you can see it like
way?
at an angle. Keep going. See? Yep, there you go, right there. Boom.
Yeah,
a little bit of a lip there.
little lip. I mean, I'm talking like a 1/16 of an inch. Just enough space that you can actually have some epoxy sit in that lip and just have a little bit more room to hold that epoxy. Because otherwise, if it's flush like Chris showed you on that coin, then you're not going to have any surface area for that epoxy to kind of sit in and dry. So
correct.
I'd leave at least maybe a 1/16. An eighth is probably a little too much. But
yep.
Actually, the more that you add, or more depth that you have, you might get kind of a cool effect. So I don't know, play around with it. But
now also keep in mind when you're cutting an inlet. Okay, and we didn't touch on this earlier, but we're cutting, like Hunter was just showing, this one here with the coin, right? I'm messing with the zoom, guys. All right, so the coin that's cut in is cut so that the coin like snaps in perfect. There is no reason why that you cannot cut an inlet and then put something in rod finish. Like, I don't know, like that abalone, that little abalone fish.
Yeah.
You could put, if you did, it would be, I've seen it done. I have not done it, but rod builders better than me have cut, we'll just call it a 1/4 inch drop. Okay. I've seen them cut a 1/4 inch drop. They add an 1/8 inch of epoxy, let it cure. Then they take the abalone fish, or they take a shark's tooth, or they take something like that, and then they put the shark's tooth on top of the cured epoxy, and then add the final 1/8 of an inch epoxy to bring it flush, and then it looks like that piece is floating in rod finish. So let your imagination run wild. I know that we are just kind of highlighting these coins and such, but that's what I had on my rod. I wanted to show off Ryan's Trinkets. But you can cut your inlet and put anything in there you want. One thing that you do have to pay attention to, though, is remember there's a hole in that cork ring, okay? Now, there are some cork rings that we sell that do not have holes in them, all right? So that would be the one where you would go through and use that as your very end butt cap. Or you could fill the hole and match it and do things like that. That's really not that difficult to try to take some cork dust, especially when you're cutting your inlet. Cut your inlet and then kind of gather up your cork dust. And you can make you a little plug that goes in the bottom down there. And then that way, your finish isn't coming out, or you're looking at a black hole behind the, what you call it. Yeah. So, okay. That's just some extra, yeah, Mark's got a question. Can these, Ryan, I really hope that we haven't boogered up your stuff by calling these trinkets, because they're so much cooler than trinkets. But Mark said, can these trinkets be engraved with a person's name? Mark, these trinkets can even have, where's the one with our faces on it? Okay. So this one even has like an image, okay? That you guys have seen. It looks kind of like a photo. You've seen this in some of our like editing stuff. So yeah, you pretty much, Ryan can put pretty much anything on there that you want. Okay? So just kind of an idea. Let it run wild. This is funny. Jamie. Man needs sunscreen. Jamie, I'm thinking you're taking a shot at me saying that I need sunscreen. So, yeah, maybe. Sorry, I'm a fishing guide. I wear 50 SPF on my face, but I don't reapply. So that's why I have like the coon eyes and the sun. You ought to see my like hands and stuff. It's like real white here and real dark here. But the, see that? Isn't that nice? So, yeah. The good news is that my sunscreen works about as good as a spell check on your thing that you got going there. So, anyway, all right, moving on. We need to. So we've got 36 pinned questions. Are we going to do a rapid fire thing, Uncle Phil, or you want to just go through these? Yeah, you think it's just a little too heavy to like because of the weather and stuff, you think? Okay. Let's do this one. Hey, Ken, we're just going to wing it. This is before, can you inlet the composite butt caps? Yes, and I wanted to touch on this again because we did it so much earlier in the show. The composite butt cap, it's harder to inlet, but it's not a problem. I'm just letting you know that when you try to like inlet it, cut it, which if you've ever reamed one of these things, this doesn't ream nearly as easy as like regular cork. Again, get the drill up to like running wide open and then ease it in. Go like a little bit, come out, go a little bit, come out, but run it. I mean, have the drill at like max because otherwise it might catch it or it might whatever. But you do need to be aware that you're going to generate more heat with a composite cap, just like when you're reaming it. So you got to be careful. Let's see. I'll hit you another one, Kent. Can you put that cutter in a drill press?
Cutter.
This guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put it in a drill press or in a lathe.
Yep, absolutely. And honestly, that's probably a better method than the drill because, obviously the drill, there's some room for error. We obviously want to preach, safety when using the inletting tool, especially in a drill. So, if you can get a more stable approach, that's definitely recommended.
Yep. This one, is it better to add a fly seat to the cork and then set on the blank? So, Brian, when I am doing a fly seat and then bringing the cork in, I personally like to put the fly seat on the blank first. The reason being is I tend to like not do it in like one fell swoop, and you're going to have to, your inner diameter of the reel seat. Here we go. The inner diameter of the reel seat is obviously going to need some arboring, right? So what I want to do is I want to get my arbors right. I want to dry fit the reel seat. A lot of times you might either have a butt cap or a fighting butt that's going to go on the end here. So you're going to have to double check like where the reel seat's going to stop. Fighting butt comes up onto the blank because most of the time we're putting the fighting butts on the bottom of the blank. So then the reel seat's up a little bit, and then we got to make sure that's good. I want all that kind of done, and then I'm going to slide the reel seat down, glue it into place, and get everything situated before I introduce the grip in. There's really, I feel like if you're trying to put it all in there in like one fell swoop, by the time that your reel seat slides down, it's going to push a bunch of epoxy down, and then you're probably not going to get the epoxy up on your cork that you need, and it just is unnecessary. Like and maybe I'm missing something here, but I just cannot think of an instance where like, oh yeah, we probably should put it all in one swoop. So just for an idea there, that's cool. Kind of a thought. Let's see. David says, what happens if you go deep into the cork? David, you could totally go, if you have like a drill extension or something, as mentioned earlier, as far as you could run that thing, you could run it all the way through a whole grip if you really want to, but you are going to have to be just aware of the fact that you might start to get off a little bit, keeping everything on the same plane and whatnot. Now, you know, of course, this sleeve is obviously here to keep everything straight, but I think the longer, it's just like trying to ream a really long grip. The longer the grip is, the more you can get off, and it, you know, it can just be a little frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, this would not necessarily be a tool that, you know, I would run through an entire grip to try to ream it out to, what's the biggest one, 950?
950, yeah. Probably
Probably not going to ream like a handle length, a full handle length, try to get it out to 950 to get it on a big blank, if that's kind of like where you're going with that. Ask, will the tool work on carbon fiber grips? So, Mike, the deal with the carbon fiber is, I haven't tried it, and I would be somewhat concerned that it might not get through the carbon fiber and the resin. It could very well, but I can't tell you like I've done it and it'll 100% do it. Now, what you can do is, you know, the inner core of all these carbon fiber grips is, it's strong, but it's like kind of soft at the same time. The Crafty cutter will fly through the inside of,
Yeah, the polyurethane.
yeah, the polyurethane part. It'll fly through it, right? But the issue is like, I just don't know if, you know, if it's going to cut. Is there a fly grip over there, that carbon? I don't think we have a carbon one here. I don't know if we need to blow it up. That one? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, this one is maybe like a, okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Hunter, you're here. We tear it up, we tear it up.
Why not, right? I don't see anything else.
I got one, guys. This one, it's got a lot of finish on it.
Yeah.
Why not? It'd be a good way to end the show. If the show just like cuts out without anyone, we'll just know, we'll just know that something happened. This will be the last demo of the night, folks. All right, Mike, let's tear this one up. Okay.
It's just a matter of getting through that, just that little bit of carbon material, and safety first here.
Yeah, right? Safety first.
For sure on this one.
Yeah, right? It's hot.
Well done.
Like a glove. Everybody looks good here. All right, so I don't know whose idea that was at home. It was probably Hoffman's. I think he was probably waiting for something just to come just flying out of there. Okay, yeah. It's not, I didn't cut it deep enough, but it is perfect.
Works.
But it's perfect. So yeah, and this one, so this grip was a, was this a Bill Faulkner? Okay. All right, Bill, sorry, but don't worry, I didn't tear it up. So this grip had a considerable amount. Were you guys, did I have it at a good enough angle that you could see it? Okay. So this grip has a considerable amount more of finish on it. You can kind of see how glossy it is. This has a ton more finish on it than the standard CFX, okay? So there you go. You just kind of, I had this thing running wide open, and you saw I just kind of went a little at a time, you know, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So birch bark wise, with the tool work on carbon fiber grips, hey, why not? Okay. So, yeah, hour and 43 minutes. That's probably a good one to end on. Let me make sure that there's no,
Well, we still got one giveaway to do.
Yeah.
So let's run that. And all right, so we're going to do a Jim Crowley rod kit plus CRB Pro Inletting Tool. And
I really like
course,
this one. This one's excellent.
What you got?
Jason says. All right, pull that one down. Hang on. I got a comment that needs to show. Well, this is working well. What's going on? Hang on. There it is. Jason, best show on YouTube, LOL. It's like a couple kids in dad's garage. I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love it. All right, cool. Oh, this one's pretty good too. Hang on. He said no Walmart wiggle tonight. Sorry, Jonathan, but no. All right. So we have, what do we have? You were saying we got a Jim Crowley.
Jim Crowley rod kit plus, of course, we're going to do a CRB Pro Inletting Tool. Got to have that.
Yep.
And
some trinkets.
some trinkets. All right, let's run it. Last giveaway of the night. See who we got. And of course, stand by for the last name. Kenneth L. All right, Kenneth.
Come on, Kenneth.
All right, Kenneth.
Come on.
Stand by for that last name. We'll get that in just a second.
And again, live at mudhole.com. That's how we get it. Oh man, it's like bated breath over here.
Is it gonna be?
I love how it's like
Kenneth.
anonymous avatar typing in the, I like that.
Kenneth Lamb. Okay. Man, we had some
Really?
easy names.
Come on,
tonight.
these are some cupcake names.
I love it. I love it.
What is going on
That's
with
with a
this?
Facebook entry. All right, Kenneth.
Fantastic.
Good deal there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Uncle Phil, your job is safe for another day.
Until
The
next time.
new system is working, I think. All right. Let me go back here. Trying to see if there's anything else that we're missing. I think we're good.
Cool.
I think we're good.
So, if you guys are new to the, or if you're just here for the new giveaway,
Yeah.
we're going to open up the sign up fairly soon after this show, not right after the show ends, but within the next couple days, the sign up for the next show will be available. And of course, that'll be open for, almost a month until the next show goes live, and you guys can sign up and definitely dig into those bonus entries. Whether you do the, you remember what a few of the options were to get the extra entries?
Yeah, so
Phil?
you sign up, name, email.
Yep.
That gets you one. Then
Share it on social or something like
there's
that?
like go to the YouTube page, go to our Facebook page, right? Follow us on TikTok. Grow a mullet. Oh, subscribe to a newsletter. Yeah, no, we're kidding. Yeah, so you can get what, up to 4 or 5? You can get up to 5 total. So you do the one for the one, and then you can get 4 extras. So
There you go.
there you go.
And of course, you can sign up all the way, even up during the show. Obviously, as we do the giveaways, you won't have entry for those. But anyway, that will go up. The sign-up sheet will be available soon, and we'll get that posted, everything in the group. We got to give a shout out to Ryan Strunk.
Yes.
Strunk Custom Rods is his business name. It's not Ryan's Trinkets or Strunk Trinkets.
No,
Ryan,
it's not.
Sorry about all the jokes.
it's all right.
Hopefully you laughed along with us.
I was gonna say we only kid because we love. If we didn't like you, we just this wouldn't have been a thing.
But
So-
thank you so much.
And we should see him at ICAST, right?
He'll be
Right?
at
Should
ICAST
be
for sure.
Yeah.
He does a ton of posts in the Mudhole Lives Rod Builders Workshop. So check out some of those posts. If you're not following that group, make sure that you do that. Tons and tons of great info in that group about rod building. So
The good news is it looks like Craig Lake was actually in here. I saw him comment. So at least we've got a
nice.
yeah,
Good deal.
sweet. What else do we have? We have ICAST before the next show, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's the week before.
Yeah, it's the week before. So we will have ICAST. We'll be doing some stuff in and around there, checking out new products, and we'll be having demo stuff. Be sure that if you, if you're at ICAST, now granted, it's an industry show. It's not like a retail show, so you can't just like show up and buy tickets. But if you are at the show, come by the booth. We got we got mud hole, foundation outdoors, and all that stuff. We'll have some great people there. We'll have Stefan and Terry Scroggins, and we'll have Mary Christie will be over there, and Stephanie will be over there. You gonna be over there?
I'll be there.
I'll be there signing autographs and kissing babies. I'll be there as well. Jim Crowley, of course, will be there. We
will be there.
We gotta have Jim there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a wild party unless Jim's there. That's for sure. So I think we had Bill Faulkner there singing, a little Faulkner karaoke.
Yeah, it's a great time. Good time.
It's a good time. So anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed it. It's not too late. It's 8:21 here on the East Coast, and we've got the next show. This one is this one's not going to be easy, but you got to have it. It's broken rod repair for episode 112. And I don't just mean like we're going to be repairing a guide wrap. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be talking about and showing if you actually physically have a broken rod. Okay?
Yep. It's snapped. It's
like it broke. Like it broke, like your kid stepped on it, broke. Or you set the hook on a 2-pound bass and it broke, right?
Or you slammed it in a car door.
Yes.
I don't know who would ever do that.
Or a guy, yeah, I know, right? Not you, Hunter.
No.
Or it got in a fight with a ceiling fan and lost. So anyway, rather than sending it in to the MHX warranty department, we're going to give you guys a little bit of, how to fix a broken rod. So anyway, we hope that you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I am going to owe the customer service team downstairs, including Sean Chaney, who you've seen in here tonight, who has been doing a fantastic job. What a great guy. What a great customer service rep. Sean Chaney, thank you. I'm going to have to get you something. Uh-oh. Bob Chadwick said the date is wrong for the next live.
Uh-oh.
Uncle Phil?
You're fired.
Was it wrong? Bring it up. Bring it up. What was it? What is that? Is it the 25th? Is the 23rd the show? Okay.
Wow.
We're just going to do 3 days of money. We're going to start on the 23rd and run it all the way to the 25th. Yeah. No, so thank you, Mr. Bob Chadwick. It will be on July 23rd at 6:30 Eastern, show 112. But we had Sean in the chat tonight doing a lot of help. I really hope, Sean, you're going to be here for the next one because your expertise is greatly appreciated. We had a chit chat today. Yes, you guys are correct. It is the 23rd is the next show. His expertise in rod repair is good. It's real good. So
definitely.
But of course, we had Cool Man and Birdman, Steve in the war room as well. Those guys were in there. Hoffma getting all the stuff ready for the show. And of course, I think he was probably the one that was in my teleprompter tonight trying to get me to have an accident on camera boring through some carbon fiber. But no. We had Justin, of course, on the Zoom. You still okay over there?
She chased us around all night.
Yeah.
He did for me.
Yeah, for sure. And we also, of course, had Kevin in. So Kevin is in the war room, but he's the guy that is bringing the, like, when we snap to the website, and then he's going through, like, when I'm talking about something, and he's like, yeah, this is what he's talking about right here, or whatever. Kevin's usually on the, he's kind of the website DJ, right? So, yeah. He's running that. So kind of war room, kind of website DJ, making sure that what I'm talking about ends up on that screen.
Yep.
And of course, Uncle Phil's on the 1s and 2s, as always. We appreciate you for all the new stuff we had. It seemed like it went off kind of without a hit, right? Hitch. Without some geography. So anyway, and of course, Hunter, my left-hand man here, couldn't do it without you, brother. We'll see you next month. Thank you guys for watching. We got rod repair next month, the 23rd at 6:30 Eastern here in the penthouse. We will see y'all then. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching.